he wins this, doing handstands.
The Dragonet is a new revived horse.
But there's actually one at 66 to 1 who I'll be giving a chance to.
Tiger Roll, what on earth are they doing?
I really do think he's top class.
The selection of Buick says it all. Hello and welcome to the Next Gen Racing YouTube channel for our weekend preview, where we're going to be looking at a great mix card actually over the 2 days at Sandown. On Friday we have the flat meeting there with some group races, and then we have finale day on Saturday with the likes of ALTIOR in action, which is going to be very exciting to see, and hopefully he can go out with a bang. Now, Jack, it's been a really bad week, especially in sport, especially for football. We're hoping to bring some positivity to our viewers. Have you got a few winners for us today?
Oh yeah, always, Sam. Why not? Let's go.
Yeah, this European Super League, I'm glad it's all done with, and we can finally get stuck into some racing action. We'll kick things off with the Friday, and that's the Gordon Richards Stakes, a Group 3 over 1.25 miles. At the moment, your current favourite is Volcanic, who's 11-4 favourite. Highest ground's around 3-1. Huckham and Thunderous are 5-1 in the market. Extra Elusive 6s. Desert Encounter is 10s, and then Winter Reprieve is 66-1 for the David Manuzia camp. And just on to David Manuzia, if you haven't already, go check out the video that was uploaded earlier this week where Jack visited the yard. It's a fantastic video. I'm sure the link will be down in the description, but do go check that out. But getting onto this race, Jack, it looks like a really cracking renewal of this race. And I actually put up Volcanic as one of my horses to follow this season. Now, he was the big hype horse last season for the Derby. He obviously won the previous year on the all-weather, and everyone thought, God, this half-brother to Volt guys is going to be the next big thing. He didn't quite hit those heights, but finished behind some decent horses. He finished behind Mishriff at Newmarket, and he also finished behind Highest Ground, who's second in the market here, and that was at Haydock. Now, a real fascinating contest as well, Jack, with the Dante winner and Thunderous here. Is it just a matter of the top lot in the market, or is it just a really open race?
I mean, the top of the market usually is a good pointer in this race for the winner. I think it was 8 of the last 11 have come from the top 2 or 3 in the market, so that's always a good place to start. I mean, but yeah, we've got the second favourite of the Ledger. We got the Dante 1-2, and of course the half brother to Valgeist. I mean, it's a really quality affair, and I think we could be looking back at this race in months to come. But it's not a race that I'll be getting too involved with from a punting point of view. I think for me, I think that it's between Highest Ground and Valkoenig. Of course, you have the break that Highest Ground, Thunderous and Huckham have had. You have to kind of take everything with a pinch of salt. And with these races, if people say there's not any guesswork, they're just lying to you. I mean, there is. But I mean, look, Valkoenig's last run was a good performance. I mean, he had to come wide round the bend, and I was pleased with the way he stretched his neck out at the line. Victory Chime, who he beat by 6.5 lengths, has since won a Class 2 handicap at Epsom. So it's hard to knock him. I mean, as you said, his 3-year-old strong is really really good. He was beaten by 3 horses: Vulcan Star, Highest Ground, and Mishreef. Now, that's not bad company to be taking, is it? I think he'll have a big year ahead, but for me, it's just between him and Highest Ground. I mean, Michael Stout knows how to prepare his horses for this. He's won it 5 times in the last 11 years. Now, I know Thunderous got the better of Highest Ground in the Dante, but he clearly didn't like the ground that day, as he didn't in the Darley Stakes as well. So it'll be interesting to see how they get on. It's in between the two for me. Probably at the moment, I'll just be signing with Valkoenig because we've seen his run. I know Highest Ground is good, fresh, but yeah, it's a cracking affair.
That's it. And even the fact that I put Volcanic as a horse follow this season, not necessarily he's going to win every race. I think this is a really decent race, and I personally think that this might go the way of Highest Ground. Like Jack said there, the horse goes very well fresh in 2019, winning at Leicester, and then in 2020 winning at Haydock, beating the favourite here, where he really did battle that day. I think he's a battling horse and potentially might even get 1.5 miles with a bit of time. But yeah, like you say, that the soft ground didn't help this horse at Newmarket. It really did. We didn't see the best of this horse. I think he could be a really decent type moving forward. I mean, Stout since January, he's been going at around a 29% strike record. So he's going well, and he trains winners at Sandown. Like Jack said, he's had 5 winners, I think, Jack. I don't know when that's since.
Oh, so that's the last 12 years. Obviously, last year was cancelled, so it's 11 renewals before last year.
Yeah, I thought it was about that sort of 5 and 10. It's 5 and 12, so it's a really, really great record for Stout, and I think Highest Ground could go in here. So Highest Ground for himself and Volcanic for Jack. Right, we move on to the Group 2 on the card, the Bet365 Mile, and the favourite here is around 4 to 7, heavily odds on. Palace Pier is your favourite here. Kazam 5 to 2, who's the Lingfield All-Weather Championship winner. Happy Power 8 to 1, and Bless Him is at 33 to 1. A 4-horse field here, but this looks like it could go the way of Palace Pier, and it is an obvious selection, but his first 2 wins were at Sandown. He seems to love the course. He's obviously the St James's Palace Stakes winner. Went over to France and won the Prix de Héros de Hesny de Bouffat-Jacques Lemoir. That's top class French pronunciation.
Yeah,
there. We love it. We
big fan of that.
absolutely love it. He was beaten at odds on Champions Day by the Revenant. I'm not sure I pay too much attention and say that was a huge flop that day. I still think he ran his race, and I think he's going to be very, very tough to beat. But it's easy to say, Jack, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like Palace Pier, move on, all going well. He wins this, doing handstands. I mean, he was very good in the St James's Palace Stakes. And when you look back at that, what a race that was, with which to bless him, and of course Pinatubo in behind. The Prix Jacques Lemoir. Is that okay? Are we having that?
Yeah. I just wanted to say the full race. I wanted to give it a go.
Yeah, I know. That was actually quite impressive. Happy with that. Yeah, that was a cracking performance, wasn't it? Ahead of Alpine Star and Circus Maximus. Now, I think he lost his front shoe in the Queen Elizabeth on Champions Day, which is kind of one of the reasons that they had for him being beaten. I think he just had quite a busy campaign, and the race over in France definitely took a lot out of him, because that was bottomless ground. But he has £9 on the field, and I mean, he's running against Kazam, he won an all-weather Champions Day, but this is a completely different kettle of fish. Again, not really a betting prospect of a race, but hopefully we'll see Palace Pier hop in here.
That's it. It's an easy selection for Jack and I. Palace Pier in the Bet365 Mile. Too easy. We now move on to the classic trial over 1.25 miles, and Yabir is your favourite here, around 5 to 2. Lone Eagle 9 to 2. Adaya 6 to 1. Trawlerman is 7 to 1. Etonian is 8. Sir Lucan for the Aidan O'Brien camp is 9, and 10 to 1 and bigger the rest. Now, Charlie Appleby has already stated his claims in many of the classics this season. The likes of Master of the Seas, One Ruler, Verco, who won at Epsom just the other day. And he's got 2 nice horses here in Yabir and Adaya. Now, Yabir beat Magellan at the end of last season, that was actually a horse, Magellan, I think, that price-wise put up for the Derby as a tip. And that horse has actually just recently come out and won at Newcastle. So some fairly decent form for Yabir there. The one that did interest me was Adaya, who's had the 2 runs. The breeding of this horse is Franco and out with Anna Salai. Anna Salai was actually a horse by Dubawi, who was second in our Irish 1,000 guineas back in, I think it was 2007, around then. I find the breeding of that horse fascinating, but Jack, I just think that Yabir has plenty of experience, and I think sort of the selection of Buick says it all, and the way that the yard are going is just so strong.
Yeah, I mean, he's a full brother to Wild Illusion, who is, of course, second in an Oaks. And the form of his Newbury win, as you said, is working out quite well. I think that the race which Magellan won at Newcastle was very poor, mind you. But he's been running well on the weather. And Jumby as well ran well at Newmarket last week, who Yabir also beat. But the problem I have is he didn't win till his 3rd run last year, and I know he was on soft ground for his first 2 runs, and that wasn't ideal, but he may need the run, because he may have needed the run last year, and the excuse was a soft ground. So for me at 9 to 4, I think I can stay away there. There's a few that are interesting, like you said. Adaya, what's he going to bring to the table after winning by 9 lengths on soft ground? Who knows? The time wasn't too special that day. There was a 0 to 80 class 4, which was about, he finished about a length ahead of, so I wasn't too impressed time-wise. Etonian's a Group 3 winner. He looked quite classy when beating One Ruler and King Failure on his penultimate run, so clearly he didn't like the soft ground in the Dewhurst, but he's due to go well here. But I'm happy to have 2 at the prices here. The first is actually for David Menwisi, and that's Bellocchio. Now, if you haven't seen our latest video, as Sam said, make sure you do watch it. But he's 2 out of 2 so far. He's a son of Bellardo. He's had 1 run either side of the English Channel. His debut was at Salisbury, and he was drawn in 11 and had to come right down the centre of the track with absolutely no cover. Stayed on quite well. And then over in France, he quickened away quite nicely with Olivier Pellier on board. He didn't really give him too much of a hard ride, and quickened away quite nicely end on. Both of the runs are looking quite nice form wise. You've got a listed winner coming out there, so I think he may want slightly slower ground. But at 12-1, I think it's slightly larger price for an unbeaten colt like him. The other Sir Lucan for AP O'Brien. Now you're going to like this. He's a full brother to Sir Dragonet, who I don't know. He's what a weird horse, eh? What a weird horse, eh?
Don't even. So the Cox Plate winner of the Cup. I mean, Sir Dragonet is a new revived horse out in Australia. That's all I'll say.
Oh God, you and your Sir Dragonet. I can't believe it. But anyway, so yeah, Sir Lucan for AP O'Brien. I mean, he finished fourth in behind high definition. Out of all of them coming behind high definition at the Curragh, he was the one staying on the best, and then he won next time out, beating Flying Visit, who's a listed winner, and then has finished second to Bolshoi Ballet since. So I think that the form standing the test of time thus far. He's 8-1 at the moment. AP O'Brien's flying with Ryan Moore in the saddle, and I think Sir Lucan and Bellocchio could both go well at the prices.
Yeah, I actually put it in my notes about Sir Lucan being a half brother to Sir Dragonet. Of course, I did, but I'd actually prefer this horse, full brother, sorry, yeah, to Sir Dragonet. But the thing with this horse is that I would actually prefer this horse over a mile and a half. I think this horse is going to go down the Sir Dragonet route and potentially even end up in the Ledger come September time. But we'll have to see. You mentioned Etonian there. I think Etonian's a really fascinating horse. 3 starts and 2 wins here. I mean, I know that Richard Hannon, the team seems to be going fairly well at the moment, smashing a few decent winners at Newbury at the weekend. But I do think that this horse, just with the course form, is going to be, going very well towards the finish. But I just think Your Beer for me, it's not a price I'd be taking, but I'd be shocked to see Your Beer not go in. I do think the horse will have plenty of potential sort of going through the season, but looking at that race at Newbury, I just think that could work out quite well in time to come. Although Magellan's win, like you say, wasn't sort of the best race in the world, I just think that Your Beer could be tough to beat. So Your Beer for myself and a couple of nice each way selections for Jack in the classic trial. Right, we move on to the Saturday now. We move into the jumps action. We know Jack and I love our flat, but we will get stuck into the jumps anyway. It's the season finale day at Sandown, and we kick things off with the Oaksie Chase, which is a grade 2 over 2 3/4 miles. Frodon's your favourite here at around 6-4. Mr. Fisher, 11-4. Benny's King is 3-1. Itchy Feet, 5-1. Born Survivor, 12-1. Tiger Roll is in here at 12s, and Militarian is 66-1. Now, first of all, Tiger Roll, what on earth are they doing with this horse? Really, Jack? I cannot understand it. The horse has such a legacy and such a great background, but what are they doing with him?
Yeah, to be fair, I think it's a bit of a joke. This horse means a lot to a lot of people, and the way that they're treating him is, I think it's outrageous. I mean, you look at some horses that are entered into races that they shouldn't be, and then they end up fatally injured or having a career-ending injury. And I think this is the only way that it could end for him. He's not going to win the race. Stop trying to prove your point. We all know you don't like what the handicap has given you. Move on and grow up. It's kind of what I think.
That's it. I mean, I'm in the complete same opinion. I mean, I'd actually just rather see this horse retire than see him run again. I'd rather celebrate his retirement than keep seeing him running these races. It's just ridiculous. I do think if he had run in the National, he would have had a chance personally. And we didn't get to see that, which was a massive shame. But Frodon here, the favourite, 5th in the Gold Cup. Brilliant. It was actually great to watch. Frodon was enjoying himself out in front in that Gold Cup. There's nothing better to see than the horse doing so. And I thought Bryony gave the horse a corker to finish 5th. And Mr. Fisher in here, I can't back this horse. I'm seated in the Betway Bowl and pulled up in the Rye now. I couldn't have any faith with regards to Mr. Fisher. So it all revolves around Frodon here, Jack. I think that he's going to be too classy for the field. Are you in the same opinion?
Yeah, I mean, you've completely nicked the words up in my mouth. I mean, it does revolve around Frodon. The 5th in the Gold Cup was very good. The ground should be great for him. My only concern is usually after Cheltenham he gets put away, and he didn't in 2016 and 2018. He didn't run that great after the festival, so it'd be interesting to see how much the Gold Cup has taken out of him coming into this. 6-5 again is not a price I'll be going for. But Mr. Fisher, I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? Because he's been pulled up, unseated. Like, if he gets round, he wins, but he just never gets round. He just needs to get round. I mean, he's an odd one, but yeah, as you say, for me, it revolves around Frodon, but I won't be getting involved at the prices.
Yeah, same with me. Sort of Frodon's going to be the one to beat, and like Jack say, Mr. Fisher, a horse that does sometimes struggle to get round courses in nice fashion. I think the railway fences will be really tough for that horse. So Frodon for me, even though sort of around the 5, 6 to 4 price, it won't be a price I'll be taking, but he should be winning the race on Saturday. Right, now on to the final Grade 1 of the jump season in Britain, and that's the Celebration Chase over 2 miles. Put the Kettle On is your 7 to 4 favourite here. Altior 5 to 2. Sco Royale is 3 to 1. Nube Negra is 9 to 2, but has already been confirmed that this horse is going to be going to Punchestown next week, where Jack and I will discuss. We'll be previewing that meeting. That will be coming to you on Monday. You've got Grenadine in here at 11 to 2 and 14 to 1, and Bigger the rest. Jack, we have the Champion Chase winner from this year taking on the 2-time champion. Are you going to be with these two top in the market, or are you going to be somewhere else?
No, I won't be with the top two in the market, which is not much of a shock, really. First of all, I'm glad that Nube Negra is going to Punchestown. I really do think he's top class. I do think he could be a world beater. He's only 7. I know Put the Kettle On's only 7, but he's only 7. I still think he should have won the Champion Chase. He had to switch right to try and make that last dive past Put the Kettle On, and he was on the bridle the longest out of all of them. Jumped really nicely at the back of the field. I do think this lad could be the real deal, and I think if he comes up against Shakan in Punchestown, I think he brushes him aside. Put the Kettle On's a tough mare. Never really grown to her though. I mean, she's very tough. She loves Cheltenham, but I know she gets the £7 allowance here, but I think she got the run of the race out front there in the Champion Chase. And yeah, for me, again, Altior couldn't back him. Is he going to run? Who knows? Is he going to be revived? Who knows? I mean, the form in behind Nube Negra does look a lot better now after the Champion Chase. But for me, I think it revolves around So Royal. I mean, he jumped very efficiently at Cheltenham. I know he was on the inside, but he was obviously squeezed through by Rouge V, nearly went over. And then considering how badly he was hampered and stopped in his tracks, I thought he ran really, really well into fourth or fifth, where he finished. And given a clearer run, I think he may have got a lot closer. I think Grenadine as well wasn't jumping as well, but Harry Cobden did really well with him to come around the outside and was staying on better than So Raw at the line. So for me, I think this is all about So Raw and the way he jumps, and if he can actually get any room, and then Grenadine could be following him home in second.
There we go. I've got the similar notes down. I think Sco Royale might be the one to beat here. The horse seems to love quick going, and the amount of sunshine we've had over the last couple of weeks has been lovely, actually, being able to get into pubs or the pub gardens for the first time. Nice bit of sunshine, but I think Sco Royale is going to absolutely love that, the quick going. Like Jack said, nearly brought down in the Champion Chase, and there was only, I think it was around sort of 3 to 4 lengths separating the first 5 in the Champion Chase. So he still ran a decent race going on that. He's a course and distance winner, and I expect him to go very well. I think Put the Kettle On's a really classy mare. She only seems to like winning at Cheltenham. And Altior's a horse that I couldn't be backing, but God, boy, would I be celebrating if he's coming up that hill in first place. It would be really great to see. But Jack, it's a very interesting one because we've agreed on Palace Pier, Frodon, and Sco Royale. If you haven't known, since Cheltenham, Jack and I have only agreed on 2 horses, and that's Fakir Dudery and Master of the Seas, both winning around 7 to 2. So hopefully Jack and I have banged in a few winners so far, and we move on to the Bet365 Chase next. Now, on to the final race we're going to be previewing. That's the Bet365 Gold Cup Chase. It's a handicap chase, a grade 3, over 3.25 miles. Plan of attack is your 4 to 1 favourite here. Kitty's Light 9 to 2, Enrillo 11 to 2, El Presente 7 to 1, Potterman 9 to 1, Goland Fortune 12s, Irish Prophecy 14s, and 20 to 1, and Bigger the rest. Now, Jack, the big question is we've obviously heard that Henry de Bromhead's bringing a couple of horses over, and Rachel Blackmore will be riding Plan of Attack. Do you think the horse is only 4 to 1 due to the fantastic combo we've got coming over?
I think it's a bit of both. I think he is very well handicapped. Obviously, he was going okay in the Kim Muir when falling, but you do have the Henry de Bromhead, Rachel Blackmore factor also priced in. I think 6 to 1, 13 to 2 would be a fair enough price for this horse. I wouldn't put anyone off backing him, but I just wouldn't be backing him personally at 4 to 1. Instead, I think it's a scratchy race all round. I'm not going to be going in at anything single figures, and there's actually one at 66 to 1 who I'll be giving a chance to, and he does come with risks attached, but I think he could, if he can come on from his reappearance run, I think he could have a chance, and that's Larry for Gary Moore. Now, you're a Gary Moore fan, so let's see if Larry can do it for Gary. Yeah, I mean, he was progressing nicely a couple of years ago, and he was notched up £13 throughout the 2019 campaign over 2 mile, 4 and 3 miles. He returned over 2 miles at the beginning of April at Chepstow from a 500-day break. Now, he definitely needed the run, and they went off at a blistering pace. So for a 3 miler to go over 2 miles when they went off at a rattling pace, he wasn't given too hard a ride from Josh Moore. Jamie will hopefully be in the saddle because Jamie had a good time with him. He's 2 out of 2 at Sandown, so hopefully he can go well. He's 66-1. Obviously, there's big question marks there because he was pulled up last time out, but he didn't do anything that wrong for a 3 miler over 2 miles. And hopefully, if he bounces back and he was freshened up from that racehorse gallop, he could be in with a shout.
There we go. One at a really nice price for Jack. I'm actually going to side with Inrillo at 11-2 for Paul Nicholls. It's finale day at Sandown. You're going to have the champion trainer in Paul Nicholls train this horse, and it looks like now pretty much all confirmed the champion jockey in Harry Skelton at the time of filming. He's 10 clear, so it's going to be very difficult, if not impossible, for Brian Hughes to catch him now. A great combo to potentially win this race. The horse won a Class 2 novice chase in November over 3 miles. And has been raised £5 for his last win at, I think it was at Newbury, and that was back in February. The horse travels really well. The horse doesn't mind good going. The quicker going will be no issue. And I do like a horse at Sandown that travels strongly. It's a very sort of manoeuvring course, Sandown, and can be quite trappy. So I do think that, this horse here will be travelling strongly at the finish. And 11-2 for the champion trainer and champion jockey. It'd be a nice winner to see going. Right, that's it for our weekend preview. Hopefully, Jack and I have found you a couple of winners. There was another horse that is on the card at Sandown on Saturday, and that is Goshen. I'm not going to address Goshen today. I don't think he's going to be running over 2.5 miles, and I wouldn't fancy him anyway over that distance. He should be running at Punchestown in the Champion Hurdle over there next week, where the 100k bonus is up for grabs from Paddy Power, and hopefully he can go and grab that. Jack and I are actually going to be back with you. Our feature video is going to be up on Monday next week with our preview of the Punchestown Festival. The last bit of jumps action Jack and I are going to be previewing before about 4 to 5 months off onto the flat, which is going to be fantastic. And like I said, we said in many videos before, we've got some excellent stuff coming your way, including a whole new look to the channel, which Jack and I are very excited to bring you guys. But if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, give the video a like, put down in the comments any of your selections and also anything you want to see from the channel. And we will see you on Monday for our Punchestown Festival preview.